You're listening to Redshirt Cinema Club, a weekly podcast about watching movies with friends. This week we're watching a movie synonymous with 1985, Back to the Future. Part blockbuster, part comedy, part sci-fi. Like Me, Back to the Future was released slap bang in the middle of the 80s, and like Me seems to inhabit the centre point on the Venn diagram of things that made 80s movies so excellent. So, make like a clam and listen up. Hello and welcome back to Redshirt Cinema Club. I am your host, David Jackson, joined today by Nathan Dighton.
Hello.
And Robert Pearson.
Hello.
And if you are a Patreon subscriber, this is our second journey into 1985. We started last week with the Goonies. And what an interesting episode that was.
I felt like it was good enough.
It was definitely good enough.
A joke I made to you on WhatsApp before we watched the film to a blank response.
Yes, well, I forgot that that's what the song was called. But if you haven't listened to that episode, then this is our first foray. My pick for 1985's best film, or certainly the film I most wanted to watch from 1985, Back to the Future. It's a film that is very, very close to my heart. I grew up watching it again and again and again. I recently, for my 40th birthday, dressed as Marty McFly, although I'm not sure it was completely apparent to many people.
You just look like you've gone quite cash. It was.
I had like original Nike shoes from the 80s.
Yeah, I guess people take in the whatever you're wearing on top.
The detail was exquisite. It's just because everybody wanted the life preserver. Where's the life preserver? Where's the gilet? I didn't have the gilet.
That is because that's the thing which he gets to. Are you in the Navy? That's the whole.
Those are the things you need. That and a skateboard of some kind to carry around.
I had a guitar.
So he's just from a different part of the movie.
Yeah, different.
That's
time.
like you've got one of the things that a Marty McFly action figure would come with. The guitar, you need the skateboard as well.
You're like
That's
the
true.
third action figure that they would make. You know what I mean? They'd have him in the gilet. They'd have him in, I didn't even know, and then they would have him in a suit.
The collector's choice.
Yeah, maybe
That'd be a rare version that was discontinued quite soon
in a bargain bin
due to poor sales.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Back to the Future, as I said, one of my favourite movies of all time, and partly inspired this whole series because I wanted an excuse to watch it on the podcast, and here we are. We've finally done it. I believe that we are both very familiar with this film. When I say we both, I mean you both. Nath, you've seen this film many, many times.
Not that many actually.
Oh my God!
It is because when you put it on the flyer that I don't want to give everybody the sense that you're quite extra, but on the flyer that came for your 40th birthday, and it had a picture of you.
Save the clock tower. That's what I should have put.
And it had a picture of you as Marty McFly, and we talked about it, and you talked about it on this pod, and
Marty McFlyer.
That's what the.
If
file
I had
name,
a time machine,
that's what the file name should be called. You know, like I always want to do things which are so cool, but you just throw them away to yourself.
Yes.
I just called this file something that would get a laugh.
Yeah.
So it's always obviously kind of lived in that same area of films as like Star Wars or whatever, and I've never loved it as much, and I've not seen it as much. Therefore,
I'm surprised. I must admit. Rob, how about you? What's your history with this movie?
I think this was the second time I'd seen it.
Good Lord, when was the first time? Come on, annoy me.
I can't remember.
What, like, any sense of age? Like, were you a boy? Were you a teenager?
I was a young adult.
A young adult.
Yeah.
So still at school?
No.
Oh, like university?
Probably around university age. Yeah.
My goodness me. Well, there you go. So a whole range of opinions. Yeah. I'm going to have to sit on mine because mine is probably incredibly nostalgia tinged. But I will say, I forgot that I needed to watch this movie last night. I got home from a big day of driving and thought I've got the rest of the evening just to do whatever I want. And then I realised I had to watch this movie, and I did a big sigh. And I started watching it, and I immediately was like, but wait, I love this movie, and it's a brilliant movie, and I was so happy to watch it.
That's how I would feel about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
It was so good. I instantly loved it. Rob, what do you think of Back to the Future?
I think it's very good. A very good film.
A very good film.
Just, very easy to watch. I like how simple the plot is. Just got to go back and make sure his mum and dad fall in love with each other. And there's just a big spanner in the work. It's just funny, isn't it? It's good.
God.
What? This is great podcasting. No, I think this is Rob's opinion.
It's a fine film. It's a good 1985 film. It's remarkable how many films from this era that feel like this start with the the credit Steven Spielberg presents.
Yeah.
Like, didn't direct it, is just there doing something, Spielberg-ing it somehow.
Yeah.
And you can just feel it. You just feel the Spielberg-ness.
I think it's a pretty remarkable film. And I think it feels so central to the 80s. I mean, it's in 1985, but it's like part action-y blockbuster. It's part like character comedy.
It's remarkably
and then there's the Spielberg-ness of it, sort of a wonder. It's not very sci-fi for a movie about a time machine, apart from the idea of time travel, which I think it expertly kind of explains.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that could be quite complicated, and in other movies has been dealt with in a very complicated way. It's just made it very simple, as you say.
It's ironic now you could say that the film itself is a time machine, taking us back to both the 80s and the 80s vision of the 50s.
Yes.
Both of which feel... Weirdly, the 80s in this film looks as cinematically 80s as the 50s looks cinematically 50s. Like, it looks like a poster of the 80s.
I also think, and I mean, I guess it's central to the whole idea, the way Marty feels about the 50s, I guess. But like the 80s in this movie is quite dark. Quite grimy. I mean,
isn't it?
It's like it's all used. The clock tower doesn't work. There's graffiti everywhere.
There's a porno theatre.
There's a
porno
theatre.
Yeah,
exactly.
But he's
we
pleased
see
to be back when he gets back.
Brett the drunk on his bench.
But also there is like the bit where he's late for school and he just hitches a ride on the back of a truck while skateboarding, and he's just getting taken through, I presume, somewhere in California. Los Angeles, are we in here?
We're in Hill Valley.
Hill Valley.
It's somewhere in California. It's not a real place.
He's just there. He's like waving to everyone in the gym.
But I still think, yes, Marty is cool and likable, but the place is like, unlike, you know, E.T. or whatever, where we see these like real lovely, beautiful suburban, like the Goonies, where we see this suburban America. This is much more. We do see suburban America here, and it's much more grimy
well, it's
and
funny.
run down.
I feel like this is the first film I realized the same thing, and it's like I had to realize it consciously like halfway through the film, because so many of these things, the idea of suburban America is just this really lovely glowing place where kids have adventures, and this one is much more there's like, it's dirty and there's loads of stuff wrong with it, and I guess that's a sense of like the 70s and 80s, which has come out of you know, like I saw on Precinct 13 or whatever, like this sense that things are going wrong, and this sort of Reagan era paranoia, and it's funny to see the two of them put together. And it is also funny, like you said, Rob, like I got a much better sense this time of when I was a kid. I had no frame of reference for the 50s apart from it was like the past, just way in the past. And now you get more of a sense of that post-war optimism and what that era of time would have meant to a certain kind of generation of Americans. And also, I guess, these filmmakers like Zemeckis and Spielberg, like growing up in that time. And, you know, Lynch always talks about the 50s as well. And it's funny how this is, like, in a way, like squeezing together the 50s and the 80s is like, it's quite Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet's a different movie, obviously, but it had like, similar vibes in that way. I guess just like what was going on in the minds of people in America at the same time. Like a whole different side of it just revealed itself to me in this one.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's the fun thing to say that always shocks everyone. It's like, oh, wow, 1985 is now 10 years further in the past than 1955 is when Back to the Future came out.
Yeah, it's shocking.
You shut up. My God.
When we were all back on Twitter still 10 years ago, when that was a big day, when everyone was like, because it's this month, right? But 10 years ago, and everyone was like, it's actually the same now. It's the same distance now to the movie to when the movie was to when he went back in time. It was 30 years. And everyone went, and I remember going, no.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone did.
Is that where Doc Brown goes at the end? Does he go to 2015?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He says 30 years or so, which would be 2015.
And he comes back and the DeLorean can
But I think at the start of the movie, he's planning to go 25 years into the future for some reason.
I know.
He adds an extra 5 on at the end. But
you know, one of the things which I think I've seen this film all the way through twice, and once was
I am so shocked.
Before today.
Right.
It's got, I don't know. My friends loved it. My friends love Marty McFly. I just don't think I ever thought I was cool enough to like look at Marty McFly and go, I want to be him. I was like, oh, that's probably a kid who wouldn't like me. But
he's so nice. Marty McFly's not a bully.
Yeah, he is nice. But we talked about like video. videos disrupting. And I think my parents missed the beginning of the Goonies, what we were talking about. So I was like, just as they were coming out of prison. So I missed that scene where he was faking his own suicide. And then this one, I very specifically remember, I think it was just playing on video at a party or it was on TV, coming to it. And then at the end, when they go back to the mall and the Libyans are there, just being like, what the fuck is happening? Because I've missed the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're terrorists. This is insane.
Well, again, this was a movie I probably watched, the first time when I was like 5 or 6, and I don't know, that I just didn't understand so much of what was happening. I didn't know what a Libyan was. I didn't know what a terrorist was. I didn't know what plutonium was. I was always like, he made a bomb out of used pinball machine. I didn't know what that meant. I just was like, I don't know what's happening, but we're going to go back in time soon. I know when the car goes fast, we go back in time. I definitely didn't really understand. Like, this is a comedy movie. And I think the performances are amazing. But it's quite dark. There's we're dealing with sort of incest in as much as Marty's mum is infatuated with him for a while.
Yeah.
There is sort of attempted rape. Or just actually attempted rape.
That stuff is. I mean, are we going to have to put like a warning at the beginning of this pod? We probably should. It's wild. Like that scene is, and just because we're talking about it, but yeah, that scene. I remember always hating that scene, or you just want that scene to be done.
It's super upsetting.
It goes because it cuts away and then cuts back, so it's happening for longer than it might do if it was just in that moment.
Yeah,
awful.
It's strange to have those things as like the central, certainly an important event in largely a comedy movie. Other than
like
those,
just walk away, McFly. That's the horrible thing. Just like
it's really horrible. It is really, really horrible. And you don't think of those things. I think it's kind of interesting. You come away from the movie and that's gone. And even it's a weird plot point when you realise that that's happened. That then at the end, Biff is like their mechanic or whatever.
Strange.
It's unusual.
It does. It's very strangely. The whole line, the whole thing about Marty and his mum. Obviously, people have made a lot of it, and I guess what struck me this time was I was uncomfortable with it more than I had been. I think when you're a kid and you're like, "Hey, it's funny," is that the movie just has to it's almost like there's a moral like an invisible moral imperative which she bumps into, like the universe going no. So like she leans in for a kiss and she's like, no, that's wrong, which is almost a get out. It's like we're going to enjoy this joke and then we're going to pretend that's the universe would never let this happen.
Well, they do kiss, but I think that they get away with it. They kiss and then she's like, that was weird, I didn't like it.
And
so exactly what you're saying, like it's like the universe goes that they would go, no, that's not okay.
Nedry style.
But it feels sort of weirdly believable to me. I mean, maybe just because I love this movie, but I'm like, yes, that is what would happen. If you could travel back in time and you kissed your own mum. It would feel weird and everyone would agree never to do it again. Like, definitely.
You didn't ask me what I thought about the film, Dave. It's fine. But I really enjoyed it. I watched it at the cinema. You guys couldn't make it, but it was on because we just happened to be on the exactly on the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
The right month, I mean. And I had the best time I've had in the cinema for ages. I thought it was great. Probably benefited from watching it, on the big screen in the dark. That's why people go to the cinema. And I just thought it held together in a way which I just didn't understand how, like how good it was and how quick it was. And I was just old enough to understand. Ironically, for a movie which is like aimed at kids, there was so much in it, which I really enjoyed a lot more now. Christopher Lloyd's always enjoyable, like his performance as a kid, but just the way you realise that his little asides and stuff in various scenes are really propelling the next thing that happens, his little realisations. And it comes as an adult with a sense of, like, that's quite unbelievable, but I'm having so much fun, I don't care, let's just go to the next scene. And so much of the stuff about the 50s, in like just the little ironies of like his idyllic suburbia being built, and then that how it turns out, and it's sort of fine, and just had a super time with it.
I think I'm really glad to hear that, and I'm really sad I couldn't make it. I've never seen it in the cinema still, and that makes me sad. And it is such on this rewatch, I guess I was trying to properly watch it rather than just relax with it, as I might at other times. And I laughed out loud a couple of times. I really got a sense of just how much it zips along. We often talk about that, quite a Spielberg-ing thing, to just be really efficient with the storytelling. And I think that, again, the whole intro sequence is so good. I mean, literally the intro with just the camera, I think it's a great introduction to just the camera panning across all the clocks, which is a little bit on the nose, but it's part of an experiment. And then we see the failed inventions that Doc has made. We learn about the plutonium on the news. Marty's reveal is just from the shoes up, the skateboard hits the box of plutonium.
Yeah.
He's fiddling with this massive amplifier and the big reveal like that. I think that sequence all in one shot is amazing. I love it.
It's so 80s.
Yeah, it is so 80s.
There's something, I was watching that just thinking, why? I was enjoying all of the little bits which come in, like the clocks and the little, the plutonium plot point. But I was also thinking, why would someone just build an amp so huge? It's got I don't know. I feel like a kind of image I saw on MTV. It's like the idea of just building something of just a giant fucking speaker and just enjoying rock. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a personification of Swatch watches somehow.
Well, it's like it feels to me like Doc made it just for Marty.
Yeah, it seems like
like Rob, it's never explained in the movie their relationship. Do you think that it's weird? Do you think it's strange that a 17-year-old boy is friends with a 50-year-old man?
I didn't until Rick and Morty came along,
right?
And obviously
they're related.
Revealed how it was very weird.
Right.
But no, it's never a question I asked.
I don't think it's weird.
A question I ask more often is how old is Christopher Lloyd?
I know.
He's always been about 55.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forever.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's just weird. He's still alive now, and he still looks like just that.
I know he could play Doc now in this film.
Yeah.
Do you know there's aging makeup in this film, but it's completely
Yes.
I quite like that it's light touch. They just seem to put like some glue on people's
Some neck
neck
wrinkles.
Yeah.
I was watching this with my wife, and just the breakfast scene at the beginning, just immediately she was just picking out the characters who were young but pretending to be old. So
Also,
George and his mum.
one of the things, because I didn't know this film very well, when I got to university, there was 6 of us in our flat, and one of them was very quickly named McFly. And I think that, initially I was like, do I Mike McFly? I didn't really get it. And it's like, no, his name was George. And his I won't say his real name, but we called him, for all 3 years of university, his name just became George. We would just talk, and that wasn't his name. And how fucking
to his face, did he know?
All the time,
Right.
George. It literally just became George.
Yeah.
And that's, having watched this again, and actually I was like vaguely aware of it when I was at university, but that was quite mean.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me that did it because I didn't understand the film.
No.
Boys are mean. That's I guess what I'm saying.
So his name wasn't George.
No, it was a nickname.
So where did McFly come from for him?
We literally just started calling it. Was just a nickname. Like, oh, you remind me of George McFly.
Oh.
McFly. People used
McFly
to
at the
shout
end of the
at him.
movie? No.
Ironically, that is pretty much him now. You know what I
Really?
mean? Yeah, he runs a very successful
Did he punch
business.
one of you?
No, none of us have
and then
been.
turn into
Yeah.
a cool,
Well,
not standing up.
Has he written a book?
Not
If you
taking
want a
any-
hint about who gave him that nickname, there was a counter nickname for Matt Elliott who works here, which was Biff.
Right, yes. That
It was
makes sense.
That was our pairing.
But
But
that works.
that did not stick.
No.
Not in the same way that George did.
No.
McFly.
But as apart from the how well I think it introduces all the characters and I think it's how well it introduces the world, the people, it's such a cool idea going. We see Hill Valley and then we're going to see it again in the 50s, and that is like obviously a big part of the movie is that you're in the whole premise is, the place where you are now, but seeing it before, obviously seeing your parents' version of it and how they grew up with it. And I think it's done so well. And I mentioned in our previous episode, I think that we all went there. We've all been to Hill Valley, whether we remember it or not.
I do not remember it.
I remember very distinctly the clock tower. And I think that square has
do
been
remember the clock
reused,
tower.
obviously.
I think I said this exactly in the
it's
last
on the lot. It's
I
been
saw
used
it
for
on-
lots
I
of different
remember
movies, but
it being pointed out to me on the tour.
yeah.
When I went as an 18-year-old on a college film trip, is when I remember it. And the tour guide going, "Everyone, this is the clock tower from Back to the Future," and like half the bus being like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Cool." I don't know.
Is anyone smoking in this place?
I also saw Christopher Lloyd live on that trip. I think I told you that before.
Wow.
Whilst he was in that
Oh,
pilot,
yeah, in that
pilot for that sitcom
pilot.
called Stacked,
My
starring
God.
Pamela Anderson.
If you liked Back to the Future at all, that trip sounds amazing. But you had no familiarity with it. At
I
that
can't
time, so-
remember whether I had seen it or not by that point.
No.
It must have been around that time that I saw the film for the first time.
Apparently, Christopher Lloyd wasn't going to do this movie. They wanted him to do the movie, I think, but he was like, he wanted to. I think he'd been doing some like sci-fi stuff, and he was a bit done with it, and he wanted to go and do like stage acting. And they sent him the script, and he read it, and he kind of liked it. And then but it was meeting Zemeckis apparently, which was the thing. Where he was like, he came away and said, if he's on the movie, then I'll be on the movie, because he just was really impressed by him, which I thought was just a nice thing.
He was correct.
This movie has had loads of like different. I only have like a very little understanding of it, but I know that it had loads of kind of changes in cast and things. It was originally going to be Eric Stoltz was going to be
From The Fly
Marty.
2.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's Brundlefly Jr.
Right. Perfect. Well, he was originally cast as Marty, and they actually did 5 weeks of shooting
I know.
with him. And
It's a brutal one. It's like the Aragorn story. You just kind of...
Oh, he's Martin Brundle. Remember? He's called
Yes.
Martin Brundle.
he apparently the story is that,
That's
on set Zemeckis found him to be too serious. He was playing the role too straight,
Right.
and I think he's a method actor, and like obviously it's it's a comedy film, and maybe that and again, if you read the script, perhaps that's not like completely obvious, because there's some dark stuff in there, but
It's funny, isn't it? It's like the Aragorn thing, because it's a role that you associate so much with the star quality of a particular person and their sort of innate personality and charisma, and it's so hard to see somebody else doing it. Like Michael J. Fox obviously kind of defines this, but then as a kid, just being aware of Michael J. Fox existing as someone famous and a sort of person and a sort of fame, a star. He's just like a star.
Yeah.
It just seems mad that the thing which launched him and exploded him and created all of that could have been somebody else. It's mad.
Yeah.
I guess he was a TV actor at the time, and maybe hadn't done many films.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he'd done, but he was young. Like
He was on. Is it Different Strokes? He was on All Family Matters. It was like on a
one
long
of those
running
sort of sitcom. Yeah, there's you can see photos online of him in the role. Like they've got on set photos of him with Doc by the DeLorean at Twin Pines Mall, and stuff like that. But yeah, 5 weeks in, they switched him out. I think I read that Jeff Goldblum was also asked to be Doc, which I think
the original Brundle
could have worked. That would be interesting. Well, sometimes you
they
hear
did
about
actually start filming.
No, they didn't start filming with Jeff Goldblum. He was just he was considered, and it was just interesting to me, because often you hear about people considered for roles, and you're like, no way. But he's the one person where I'm like, I'd quite like to see that. I mean, Christopher Lloyd just is Doc Brown, obviously, but I wouldn't hate seeing, if I had a time machine, I could go back and put wheels in motion to see Jeff Goldblum's version.
I really like what you said about the set, Dave, and I don't know if I feel like it's something which I've seen a lot now, that like here's a space and then here's like an old version of it, and just a comparison between the two. And actually there's that PlayStation ad from, again, 10 years ago, for 20 years of PlayStation, which
ad.
the PlayStation UK put together. It was like For the Players, 1995, I think is the only name of the ad, but it's in a single bedroom for all 4 generations of PlayStation, and it single shot revolves around, and all the effects are on set and in camera, in terms of everybody's just changing, or most of them anyway, where they're just changing outfits and redressing the set as the camera turns around. And it's kind of like, in a way, you can see how that has been taken from having the fact that so much of it exists on that single square, and there's a reason for him to skateboard around the square twice, and you kind of get 2 tours of it, and it's been just dressed completely differently, and you understand, like, it's got the feel of, I don't think anybody watching that thinks this is a real place. Almost you kind of go, I know that this is like a set. So I don't know if it's something which TV or an older movie had done, but it's a really specific idea, like aesthetic. I don't know. There's a real what you were saying about like it's not really sci-fi, it's not really comedy. The poster has always been so the style of it, something really unique about it. It's just like this anomalous thing which kind of pops out of this Spielberg universe. Like it isn't like Star Wars. It's not like Indiana Jones.
No,
it feels very fresh.
Yeah, and it's quite grounded in its world as well. In as much as there's like a scene where someone's putting the washing out. It's not.
Right.
It's not like it's a mad adventure across time, but it's not a mad adventure across the world. It's like it's really suburban and
it's got kind of a cyberpunky feel. Like they're thinking of the poster and like the largeness of the font and like there's steam and smoke and the DeLorean looks like this like kit bashed thing and he's wearing the gilet and Doc's always got loads of fucking stuff on his head.
Yeah,
it does have like a wild kind of vibe to it. What a movie.
It does. I think that the old makeup is pretty good. I think maybe Leah Thompson as Lorraine is. They've aged her quite considerably, to where she needs to be. I think they're supposed to be 47 in those scenes, the family scenes.
Right. That's weird because their oldest son is 35, which is strange. Yeah.
Well, I guess you do the math, it checks out. But and it's like it's I think I must have had like a off the telly version of this. When I was growing up, because I realised watching it today that the whole scene where you first go to Marty's house and Biff is there, and again I was just deeply confused as a kid as to who Biff was, what his relationship to the dad was,
right,
why he wasn't paying for the car. I just didn't get it. But like I just remember it being so much darker, as in literally darker. And he goes to I watched it last night and realised that he grabbed some M&Ms from a jar. But in my version of this, they were all brown. in my memory, at least, they were all just like brown. I never understood what it was
Marty
he was taking
McFly
out of the
loves minstrels.
I thought they were like Werthers or something. I was like, what is that jar full of brown?
I have a whole mouthful of Werthers
stuff. Yeah,
because I'm a big bully.
Also, got to watch it. I mean, I've definitely seen this many times. Since having a sort of pirate copy of it, but realised. Because Doc Brown says, you're about to see some serious shit. But he doesn't say that in my memory. He says, you're about to see some serious stuff or something.
Science.
Which was, some serious science. But yeah, the relationship, what I was going to say about it, the way it introduces, it's so efficient at introducing everybody and everything, but it's also just the relationships, the things that are going to change. I think the time travel of it is so smartly done.
It's so neat.
Neat is exactly right. Like everything has a cause or an effect depending on where you are in the movie. Like everything is linked to something. I really love the small things like...
I just want to say as well, because it's only going to be relevant here, in terms of like Doc Brown's little reactions and hints and stuff. And he's a great character because he exists basically consistently. He's the same person in 19...
Right.
And he likes Marty as much almost immediately. There's that scene where he kind of realizes that things might be different in the future, but maybe in a good way. And I can't remember exactly what, he just gives a little wink of some kind to the audience.
Right.
And if you actually on the second watch or like knowing what's going to happen, I was like, that's fucking great. He's kind of like, oh, it's fine.
Maybe that's where their relationship comes from. If it's weird to think, why is a 17-year-old kid hanging out with this mad scientist? It's because Marty McFly, in a time travel, timey-wimey
Very
thing,
true.
has to go looking for him in 1955. And that's the first time 1955 Doc Brown has ever met Marty McFly.
Yeah.
And so Doc Brown will then obviously go
be pals
looking for Marty McFly.
Yeah.
And he has the letter.
It's a very good point. I know that one version of the script had them as friends. I really like what you just said, and let's say that's why. But originally, there was a version of the script where they were in business together, making pirate copies of pornos. I think.
Oh,
selling like
the 80s.
Yeah.
I guess these things were just morally less problematic in the 80s. Porn was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a porn cinema there.
I don't know if people thought that was funny, but yeah, I know what you mean. It was definitely it wasn't a big deal.
But I knocked you off track, Dave. Sorry.
That's okay. Although I'm not sure what I was saying, but that has made me think just also about Christopher Lloyd being there or Doc Brown being there for the whole movie, and just how actually it would be quite a horrible movie without him. In as much as the thing that really struck me yesterday is obviously you're introduced to Marty's street, you see him skateboard down it, lie in estates. Then when he goes back in time, the proper jolting realization that he has traveled through time is he drives past his street, which is under construction and hasn't even started yet. And I just think that is so shocking as an image, like, to that character.
Yeah,
like everything he has ever known doesn't even exist yet. Specifically,
I loved that. I thought it was
it's amazing.
Such an amazing encapsulation of like where America was. Like all the suburbia that we see in Spielberg's movies was built right after the war, or around that time. I was like, oh fuck yeah, of course. It's like a little history of these sorts of movies. That's amazing.
And then he goes to Hill Valley, and again, they do such a great job, and it's so interesting to me how alien it feels to Marty, even though it's only 30 years ago and it's literally where he's lived his whole life. Like it first of all, it looks very different in terms of, being clean and whatever, but just the car pulls into the garage and like 5 guys come out and, shine the hubcaps and whatever. And they're
it does have this massive nostalgia. Also, there's a real insistence on Marty being completely ignorant of how things, like he knows he's in 1955 and he's still just relentlessly being like, oh, should we watch some MTV or whatever? Like, Marty, come on. I can't remember.
They do make him a bit stupid from time to time.
But so you can show up like, no, that's actually only invented in the future, Marty.
He turns up to the school and he's like, wow, they really cleaned the place up. It looks brand new. Which I thought was maybe a step too far. But like, there's a kid on like spring shoes for some reason. There's a smartly dressed policeman walking around. There, he goes into the cafe, the diner, and can't order a drink because the words he are using, I think it's really great bit of dialogue, just don't make sense in the 50s. Can I have a tab? He's like, well, just give me a Pepsi free. You want a Pepsi? You got to pay for it.
Do you know? I feel like it's only because we, as people who existed in the 80s, understand. I have seen what
Tab Cola.
Kids now would not know what Tab or Pepsi Free are.
No,
I don't know what Pepsi Free is. What's Pepsi Free?
It's just like Diet Pepsi it actually said it. I think it says free of caffeine on there. You do see like a close up of it at some point. I think it's free. Yeah, I think it's caffeine free.
Pepsi Free. It's like Coke Zero.
Tab, by the way, I remember amazing marketing. I just wanted Tab Cola.
Suddenly, everything is clear.
It's just Coke, but without the food colouring.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's so cool. I want it. And it was just because those adverts were amazing.
Do you know, every now and again you see like a marketing case study or whatever, and it's like, this was an invented need. Like Michelin restaurants or whatever, the whole Michelin thing. Or, I can't even remember any others. But that's an incredible, and another one. It's like, well, what if we save money by not including this ingredient, but then we sold people that it was cooler? It's like unfiltered beer.
Yes.
My wife's dad, as you know, he used to be a brewer. He used to run breweries, and he's just, I think we were having a pint with my son, and he was like, I'll have an unfiltered Stella. And he was like, do you know that's just basically unfinished beer?
Yeah.
They're just saving money and saying that it's cool.
So Jay wanted an unfiltered Stella.
Yes, and Brian was like, you can have one,
Think
but
about this.
I need you to know.
yeah. Filtering's not bad.
No, it's unfiltered. It just sounds cool, doesn't it? Have an unfiltered beer.
Yeah. It's a bit like chewing gum. Not quite the same thing, but just they were trying to make something else, and they came up with this. And we're like, oh, what can we do with this? All that time can't be wasted. But yeah, I think it's like up to this point, it's quite a horrible film for Marty. He's just, or this time travel experience is awful, and then he finds Doc Brown, and it's like a grounding. He's got a friend, a guy he knows.
In a way, it's kind of emotionally, it's such a brilliant bit of writing, and having a character, maybe it's in the performance too, who is so eccentric, but and when I say the consistency, he basically operates in the same way. He's got all the expertise and knowledge that he does in 1985, in 1950, like as if he learnt nothing new apart from how to invent that machine.
But this is the other thing I was thinking about. Where is Doc Brown actually from? Which timeline? In 1985, are we seeing a Doc Brown that is 30 years older than the Doc Brown we're seeing in 1955? I'm not convinced we are. I think he's like Doctor Who. He just exists sort of
outside.
just, for him, he's just like hopping back and forth. As soon as he can make time travel work, he could be anywhere at any point whenever he wants.
That's
like,
true.
when are we seeing for Doc Brown? This movie maybe takes place over the course of a week.
I feel like he has to invent time travel, though.
He does,
and that
but he
takes
invents
ages.
it. Again, it's that kind of thing of him inventing time travel is a result of him having invented time travel. Like,
That
he wouldn't
is
have been able to invent it if
also
Marty
true.
hadn't gone back to 1955.
They did.
And
Well-
reminded him that this is how you invented it.
He'd,
It's that kind-
he'd already drawn the thing, but
it's
yeah.
the whole thing of like, I
Illuminate.
can't. I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with this final piece of the equation to make my time travel work, and him successfully having somehow solved that in the future
Yeah.
is the solution to it,
The
given
universe
to him in the present.
provides the missing piece.
Yeah.
There
It's
is a-
weird. It's weird how like there's like different modes of the sci-fi thing here in this film, whereby stuff that happens in the future is what enables things to happen in the past, and it's all that kind of complete loop thing where the act of going back into the past is what causes future events to happen. But then in other ways, it's a completely different type of time travel where Marty is literally able to change things.
It's a very entertainment based time travel
Yes.
system.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? It's just very
all
happy
time
to-
travel is entertainment based, I guess you could say.
Do you
But it was, I can't remember where I read it, but there is supposedly like very separate strands of sci-fi. I can't remember what they're all called.
No, I remember you bringing it up in a previous pod. Ironically, our listeners will probably know it better than us
Maybe.
if they've time traveled back to that episode recently.
Yes, but I do think like I said, it's well explained. In later movies, the second movie, the time travel system just simply doesn't work.
Well, there's lots of layering. That's all I remember, is that there's lots of back and forth, and he gets trapped at a certain point.
I haven't seen any of the other Back to the Future movies.
I'm not sure that I'd recommend it. And this
Are there
is
cowboys in number 3? I
There are.
keep hearing. That's all I know about number 3 is that people are like, huh, there's cowboys.
In my mind, number 2 is like a sort of a replay of 1, and then
no. Well,
it's funny how
It
many
should be
of
in the future. Is it in the future?
Yes,
Some of them
It's
are.
set in the future. Well, some of it's in the future. They also go back to 1955.
only because that he goes around the square on a hoverboard. So I just don't
Yeah.
like.
And also the whole 30-year interval thing. I don't know what the relevance of that is, but that's what Dark does as well.
Well,
Dark
the
exists on these,
relevance in this movie is
30-year.
literally just to be going to the whole idea came about because I think Robert Zemeckis was visiting his parents and he found a yearbook of theirs and
Right.
was
Oh, wow.
looking back at them pictures of them at school and was just like, my God, and we're seeing, I think, the same student archetypes that
Yes.
you would know from your own school and be like, which
Yeah.
one was my dad? Was my dad the jock? Was he the bully? Was he the whatever, the nerd? And just thinking, God, it would be so weird to have gone to school with your parents. What were they like? Blah, blah, blah.
I just think that it's so much more of a unique and sort of profound idea then. Then obviously they had photographs, but
Yeah.
there was no video record really
No.
of people's kids in the 50s unless you had like some super, it's very like rare. And I feel like there's a ubiquity to it now. And I also feel like social media and just all that constant sense of like tracking ourselves and taking pictures of ourselves probably does keep us in our young selves, or like I think we change less as people because we're constantly fucking thinking about who we are and how we present
Yes.
ourselves to the world.
Yeah.
Rob, your story made me fucking lose it over the weekend. It was so funny.
Story.
Because every now and again, we have like a thing where you post a picture of yourself looking really handsome, looking out of a window, and I've seen it because you can see I've seen my story, and you go,
Instagram story.
Did you hate that fucking picture? And I'm like, yep, I hate that picture. Or like you up a mountain. And then the next one was you having folded your entire neck into nothing at your desk. It just really made me fucking laugh. I don't know if you meant those pictures to be a counterpoint to each other, but it was very funny.
Yeah, I like messing with Instagram stories.
So good.
I
And
did
that's gone now.
another
That's ephemeral.
handsome looking out the window of the bus this morning.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's got
I've
that.
already got loads of attention for it. It's great. I also did a really clever one yesterday whilst watching Back to the Future. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
I took a photo of myself watching the film, and you can see the film reflected in my glasses.
That's
and
pretty good.
And the caption was, "What film am I watching? It's reflecting my glasses." Oh, so much
That is
engagement
bait.
from that.
That's such
The
bait.
engagement is off the scale.
Oh, that would be great. When
Great
you write your
engagement.
reports for yourself. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, did our engagement go up?
Makes me feel a bit sick.
What was I going to say? Oh, I had something I was going to say then.
Was it going to be insightful and good?
No, I was just going to say about the whole recording of life, as in, and there's a real, and it makes me sad, like a real disposable quality to it now, where often my phone will be so full of shit,
Yes.
and I'll get a notification from Google being like, oh, you need to back up some stuff, and I'll just delete that, and that. I'm deleting loads of 20-second, 30-second clips of Ella just fucking around in the garden on a hobby horse doing nothing, and I'm like, why am I just? I've got so many of them. I've got so many, and the other and I do quite like how technology does this. It's one thing I think is quite good, where it's like, oh, here's this 7 years ago, and it just showed me a 30-second video I'd filmed, obviously very casually, 37 years ago or so, of Chantal, my wife, making a chocolate cake, and Ella sort of like sitting on the kitchen counter helping her make the chocolate cake, basically just like stirring around in the bowl. And she was like 2.5 or 3 years old, and she was just like a wildly different person, and it's so weird. But again, it's recorded in a way that you just wouldn't be able to in the past. Like, it's so easy to just point a phone at your child and record them for 10, 20, 30 seconds now.
You're right. And my kids were young when phone technology was just starting to have video on it. So I've got like 2 megapixel videos of Jay when he's really small, and it's like all kind of glitchy. And then obviously like very quickly they become HD on an iPhone or whatever. Yeah. And so I guess I've lived through that moment, and those early ones do seem more precious. And I guess like the whole, have you guys watched Devs, the Alex Garland series? So. Sort of an idea in there. I think it's worth watching. But just like with Google Earth, it's like the first time I saw sort of Google Maps or Google Earth, you kind of like, oh, this is absolutely incredible. And I'm not sure it had the whole world at that point. Maybe it launched with the whole world. But it's almost like if you can capture everything, then suddenly it's like, like very quickly getting to the point, like you say, you could take a 30-second picture of your kids every day, and then it's like it's much less meaningful. There's a handful of home videos of me when I was a kid, which I've never really gone back and watched, but you know what I mean? Like they're valuable because there's only a few of them, and
100%.
It's a much different thing, and it's almost like that's actually the algorithm which then sends you just a little clip and goes, hey, remember this? That's almost like picking out that rarity for you and just going, just think about this one today. We've got every second of your child's life is filed away, but just look at this slice.
Yeah.
This is all you need.
And sometimes it's like, here are some sunsets.
Yeah.
And it's somehow
the magic
managed
hour.
to look at all the photos of sunsets I've taken over 10 years.
The one chink in the armour which I enjoy is every now and again it will show me a montage of my now dead dog. I assume it doesn't know my dog's dead. But there's one golden Labrador that was working at an airport, and it always just throws that in, and it always just reminds me not to trust Google. Just like,
stupid Google.
Jesse wasn't at work that day. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, in organising a 40th birthday, my fiance wanted to find pictures of me as a kid, so we ended up talking to my parents and then looking at their photo albums of the past, and I just realised how much I prefer that to photos on a phone. I mean, I've got a 10-month-old baby, and my phone is just photos of him that I never go back and look at, or very, very occasionally, and I plan to. And in fact, like, it's his birthday in a couple of months' time, and we're going to, I think, like, on the eve of his first birthday, thought we'd just get a bottle of wine and look at photos of the year and think about it. But other than that, I like having them, but I don't know when I'm going to look at them because they're so available to me all the time. Whereas a photo album, and it actually inspired, my fiance got me a film camera, as in a camera that shoots to film, for my 40th birthday, and it's so much. I love the experience of having. What's funny about that?
It was quite dark. I was wondering what you took pictures of, and I was wondering if you just took pictures of yourself in the bath. Do you know what I mean? Just like, this is my project,
right?
And then I laughed about it
Right, okay.
to myself.
I'm glad that I made you tell tell the class what you were thinking about.
Should have kept
That
it
is
in.
such a very much. Care to share that, Nathan, with the whole
Yeah.
class? What's
Thinking about something funny.
just think
But I
taking photos of yourself in the bar.
it's so much better, the experience of like deliberately going for a walk with the camera and knowing I've only got 30 pictures I can take on the film, and so it's like, when do I
Yes.
you know, if I take a picture of anything on my phone, I'll probably take 5 pictures of it and then think I'll choose which one's the best one of those 5 later, and then never look at them anyway.
Yeah. Or Google will be like, hey, you pressed the button once, we took 5 pictures.
Yeah.
Which one's the best? Fuck off.
I get uploading and sharing them, but I don't do that.
I think you're
any of my
completely
photos,
right
so.
in a way that it's like a digital thing, which is incredibly convenient and really good, but has taken away just that sense of like, when am I going to look at this stuff? And like, I've got a hard drive or two, like, all backed up of family photos from the last 20 years. And I never think I'm going to have, there's always like the future, but I can't, unless I make a moment. And when I do, when Google kind of creates that moment in the morning or whatever and just sends you some stuff, like sometimes those are quite meaningful. And I do think that having physical things, you might sit down and look through a book and just go,
Or that a new people, like younger people.
Right,
Are they going to
my
put?
kids love that shit, by the way. Yes, sorry.
Right.
Like, I remember going through photo books when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And every now and again, my Mads will be like, where are those pictures? Can I look at them? And I'm like,
Yeah.
why do you want to look at them?
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of like, in the same way that you have to make the effort to create a process that is now no longer strictly necessary. And I find it much harder to think about what music I want to listen to on Spotify than if I was looking at a shelf of CDs.
You make a really good point though, because I think the central premise of this movie obviously is just fantastic, and so did Bob Zemeckis, who found some pictures of his parents and thought, wow, and the whole movie, you know, obviously would eventually come out of his head based on that. But is it eroding? Is that central premise eroding through time, where children these days are gonna? I mean, like, our kids have got hundreds of hours, maybe thousands of hours of us on the internet.
Oh, it's awful.
Like,
for
archived.
them. Oh, my kids were sending me they realised that the gift search on
Yes.
WhatsApp has got loads of us on it.
Yeah.
And just sending me endless fucking
Does it?
gifts. Yeah. Just placed it. Yeah.
And so does Back to the Future. Is my son going to understand Back to the Future in the same way, or just be like it feels like an old problem. Like, I get it for someone from then, but like, it just doesn't hold up now because I've seen you
it's funny.
every day.
I think in the you can watch like It's a Wonderful Life, and you just understand the premise, and the things which are important to it haven't changed. It's a man who's working too hard, or he cares about his family and things are going wrong. The specific sort of cultural markers around it haven't shifted in the same way. But yeah, even like Libyan terrorists is like, what? When like just the idea of like nuclear being like just a hot button topic. I mean, I guess it probably still is, but
I do think
it is different.
That we skirt, or maybe we just 2 foot into sounding like it was better in the past, wasn't it? But do you think that is the sort of part of the message of Back to the Future as well?
Oh, it's a tricky one, man. I think that, well, like we said at the beginning, I feel like yes, because it has that nostalgia for the 50s, but then the end is like this optimistic idea of what the 80s could be. And it's funny that we spend quite a lot of time on this pod talking about how great the 80s was. I think it's because people like their childhood, right? Like, and I think that 30-year thing, what I was going to say, is like, it's exactly, well, you said it already, but it's exactly enough time to kind of go, well, that's a generation of time. And I think that's kind of what Doc says. I just want to leap forward enough. It's still kind of within the scope of my lifetime, but I want to see what's going to happen.
It's funny thinking about Doc Brown coming to 2015. Actually, it's like new phones. You know how like every time, like 15 years ago when a new iPhone came out, it was like, now it can do what? Oh my God! And now it's like just some quality of life updates.
There's another camera.
You won't really
the battery
notice.
lasts for 57 more minutes.
Exactly. So I think going back to 1955 did seem like a massive change, like from the 80s, and obviously from now. But I wonder, imagining him coming to actual 2015 is just like.
Things are very different, but
I guess there's phones,
but there was.
It's interesting how time is kind of compressed in that way.
I wanted to say the thing which I mentioned on the Goonies pod, which is a good counterpoint to this one. And if you've not seen it or heard it more specifically, then do try and track it down. It's one of our bonus eps. And that's just that idea that way more central to this, that the children are the protagonists and the people that can change things, and their parents are like, he spends the entire movie feeling incredibly sorry for his adult parents, who he can tell like that if there's a bleakness in the film, it's like a ton of it's there as well, just seeing his dad and his mum, and just like you can see how they get there. It's in that idea of past like time. Obviously Zemeckis had not been on Facebook by the time this had happened, but when you see people you knew at school, and you just sometimes you're like, you know, with George from university, you're like, fucking hell man, you've done great. You know what I mean? Just it's that sliding doors shit. Just someone's life can just day by day go in one direction or another. And sometimes you see people from school and you go, wow, life was fucking hard for you. That sucks.
Yeah.
And here you are in this situation or whatever. And that's bleak as hell. And the burden of him having to fix things for his parents, it seems super unfair in a way. Like he's such a young character.
I mean, what's interesting, what's good about it is that he doesn't go back in time to fix anything. He's not identified an issue. I can change this. I can make it better, and it is, which I think is to the film's credit. It does get. I've read like it's had a bit of stick in the past because the future version of it, the end of the movie's version of his parents are like rich and healthy,
and they still live in the same house,
and it's kind of like this is what a good ending is, like people who are like this. That's and I think Zemeckis is like argues that it's not, they're not happy because they're rich and healthy. It's just that is a symptom of their different lives from having,
they're more fulfilled than.
Yeah, and he wasn't trying to make the point that that being rich is the best outcome or anything like that. But
people will complain about.
I was going to say, I think anyone who's looking at this to that level of depth needs to just
step away.
Just chill the fuck out a little bit. Like it's just a lovely little punch of, look, he stood up for himself, and now look how fulfilled he is.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Biff is so good at the end. I mean, it makes me deeply uncomfortable.
One of the best performances in the film, I think, Biff.
Just the whole way through.
It's really good.
He's such an iconic character. I mean, I honestly think the whole principal cast is amazing. Like every single one of them, they are absolutely fantastic and really do bring like the comedy. I mean, Crispin Glover as George McFly, his performance is just so unusual. His whole the character he inhabits is, with his whole body, the way he walks into the diner and orders a chocolate milk before he goes to ask Lorraine out.
I think we made George at university order a chocolate milk.
Right. It's so. I don't know how he walks in, and his laugh is iconic. Just like at the start when he's watching TV with his family. It's like a painful. I don't know how he does it. But all of them, and I think Biff is an excellent, is just as good. He's an iconic character. He's
such a bully's name.
Such
as well. Biff.
Yeah, the things he says, like the stupid things he says, like make like a tree and get out.
Oh,
get the hell out of here.
Make like a tree.
As a kid, I did not understand that for so long. As a kid, just like, all right.
Yeah, me neither. I don't
understand it now.
Well,
really?
Because do you know?
No, we can work this out.
Okay.
Make like a tree.
Do you understand that sort of style? This style of
the idiom.
You
know, like what should be next? Make like a tree, and another way of saying get out of here that makes sense with a tree.
Well, sort of.
It's a pun. Make like a tree and.
I don't know what you're trying to get me to say.
Make like a. I can't believe you've never heard.
I've heard sentences with this structure before.
Yeah.
It's obviously funny because trees don't move.
No, not really that. Make like
not.
a tree and something about trees which sounds like a way of getting out of there.
It's like, why don't you make like a banana and split?
Yeah,
is what you would say. That would be another version of this.
Make like a tree.
And trees don't move, that's true, but they do.
I want you to just make
He's
one
never
guess.
Gonna get this.
Make one guess.
I don't know what you're trying to get me to guess.
Just say some tree-related words. We'll get there. What? Say
Say
some
a tree word.
related.
Root,
No.
sap,
No.
leaves.
Yeah.
Make like a tree and leave.
Yeah. You make like a tree and leave is what you're supposed to say. That's the idiom.
leave.
That's what's
They-
accepted.
They
that
grow
sentence.
leaves.
And so
It's in leaf.
Biff's an idiot because he doesn't get it and just says
Not like Rob.
no, exactly. So he's just like, make like a tree. He knows that that's what people say.
And get out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
I've never heard the saying "make like a tree."
No, well, I only heard it because of this movie. But
You're being so literal.
It
So you never
predates
heard,
me.
you never heard the real one.
Oh,
Is
the
it,
first-
is it a genuine saying? Make like a tree and leave.
I think
well, it
it's
has
something
to be
which
because
kids said in the
that's
50s.
why it's in the movie.
Right.
So what I mean, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense to anyone. But yeah, we've been derailed slightly.
We have.
But Biff, amazing. He's like physically imposing, like big, powerful guy.
He's written in just a brilliant way that understands bullies and what they do. Just overstepping the line, asking you for things, blaming you for things.
His little cast of bully mates.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane, yeah.
Which one was Billy Zane? I saw him in the credits. I was like, was Billy Zane in this film?
He's right. He's just one of his core group.
He's not the guy.
One of the cronies.
Not the
Yeah.
guy wearing gloves who's like, why don't we beat him up?
He's got like slick hair. He looks amazing.
And he's
Looks
not
really
the guy
handsome.
with 3D glasses. He's the other guy. He's Billy Zane.
Just looking mean.
I love that
I'll
bit of
have to go back
characterization.
and have a look at
by
it.
the way, just a guy who wears 3D glasses. Just his thing.
Yeah.
It's just his thing. It's
Didn't
just
one
cool.
of Bebop and Rocksteady wear?
I
3D
think
glasses?
so, yeah. Maybe based on this character.
Could be.
But yeah, Biff, amazing. And amazing. We talk about the neatness. I really love seeing Biff, the grown-up bully at the start of the movie, saying exactly, and his relationship with George McFly doing exactly the same thing. Where's my report? Think McFly, I need to get it early. I need to get it retyped. What would happen if I handed in your report? You know, blah, 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 blah. And then seeing that again, exact same thing happen. This makes me think of the reveal of George McFly, by the way, in the diner, which I love. Marty going and sitting down, and both of them sat with their head in one hand next to each other and not realizing. It's so good. And then Biff coming in, McFly, and they're both turn around at the same time.
Wouldn't adult Biff, when he sees Marty McFly and calls him a butthead, shouldn't he be thinking, holy shit, this is that kid from 30 years ago who tried to stand up to me in the cafeteria and who punched me in the face? What the fuck?
Well,
but he doesn't remember.
It's too long ago.
It's only 1 week in your life. Can you remember?
I'd remember if I was the bully and some little shit stood up to me in the cafeteria, some new kid, and punched me in the face. I would remember that.
In a scenario that led to your car being covered in manure.
That's true. But time travel's not possible.
I guess none of that had actually happened.
You'd think, wow, what a weird.
All of those events were the events that led to Biff not being a.
But car washing Biff should remember. You are right. He should be waxing.
Car washing Biff should be.
He should be like, whoa.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Especially when he sees the DeLorean flying down the street at the end of the movie. I mean, that was not discreet.
No.
They're just flying.
It wasn't.
We haven't spoken about the DeLorean. DeLorean's it's just great, isn't it?
It's crazy that we haven't spoken about it.
I don't know. Do you think they knew when they made it? Like, yeah, we've made probably one of the most iconic pieces of cinematic.
I just don't think you can set out to do that. I don't know if you can
why
set
are
out
anything
to
from
do
this
that.
era so good? Which was the artist who did the DeLorean, Nath?
I don't know. Was it Sid Mead?
I think it was Sid.
Because it was featured in that thing you did for us many moons ago, where you showed us those examples of all the iconic movie designs. So I mean, the DeLorean, there's something of the. You know, it looks like it could be ejected from the Nostromo. There's like an angularness to it, and all the piping and all of that.
It could be on a street in Blade Runner.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it feels real to me. It feels like something cobbled together.
Yeah.
You can see it started with a DeLorean, obviously, but then everything that's been fixed to it, it's not like sleek and cool and, you know, it's really real. Everything there serves a purpose. The interior of it is just, again, just sort of cobbled together. It's like a needs must.
It's like part of that. There is a strand of movies around this time, like real science and
Yeah.
or weird science.
Weird Science, that's right,
and
yeah.
real something that where people are just doing mad experiments, and this is like it's got a tiny touch of that stashed away with sort of like the look of a Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah.
Of, that sort of cassette futurism or just old future stuff looking knackered.
Yeah, it's such a. I think it's great, and I don't know. I'm trying to think because you could just a time machine is a great idea in and of itself. It's interesting that they decided to make a moving time machine and kind of what that brings to the movie. In a way, I don't know if it has any relevance whatsoever. That it's in a car, like could it just be a static time machine and the same thing? Still kind of the story of still play out the same way.
I don't know why they made it a car, apart from that sort of central idea of cars just being so crucial to American culture.
Yeah,
especially so all of the. I guess it's like that same idea of like Lucas is obsessed with cars and he raced cars, and then they sort of become all the ships in Star Wars, and just the idea of like a young kid getting his first car is like Spielberg talked about that being the heart of like the new Transformers that he also exec produced like however long ago. But the dynamism of just it fucking needing to go a certain speed is like there are so many good ideas. Like we talk about the choreography of those moments where you mirror something through the generations, or you show the difference between 1950 and 1980, or how many of those little things are seeded and then paid off, like him saying, I wish I had a car like that, or a truck like that, and then he's got one later on. Anyway, sorry to get off track, but yeah, to me it was like the centrality of like the car to the American experience.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I do love the 88 miles per hour nonsense though, but it does allow Marty to accidentally trigger it. He's just escaping the Libyans, and he's like, they've got a rocket launcher.
It's a good speed though, isn't it? Imagine if it was like 32 miles an hour.
Yeah, or even if it was just 90 miles an hour. Like it's just boring.
88.
It's like 88. It's just so good.
Reminds me of that guy. Remember that taxi driver? That British taxi driver we had in LA that time.
Oh, the one from
Basingstoke.
Yeah.
He
was cool as fuck.
I can't remember who asked. I think you asked him, Nathan. How long have you been in LA? And his answer was, since 88. And I just thought it was just the coolest way anyone had ever said a year.
He lost his teaser. He's so rounded. Yeah, man. He was talking about, just for the people on the pod who don't know, one of the things we used to experience all the time was getting into cabs at E3 with just various characters. The people who drive cabs in LA are wild, and there was one of the last ones I remember was a guy who used to go fishing with Jack Charlton.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he told us about Jack Charlton for ages, what a good lad he was and how much he liked fishing.
Have we ever revealed at any point the Buster Bitch man?
No, I don't think we have. I'm just going to bust a bitch. There was an Armenian guy
thing ever
who I once had. I really fucked it.
We need to explain that means do a U-turn, by the way, because if you don't know,
it sounds bad.
It doesn't. You don't know what he's saying.
I'm gonna bust the bitch right here.
Yeah.
What?
Which means do a U-turn.
And it was bad traffic, and he needed to get us to a place quick.
He drove off across like 5 lanes of traffic.
And he knew the best way to do it. He identified an opportunity to bust a bitch, which was slang for I'm going to do a U-turn.
Yeah.
This guy picked me up on Sunset, and I needed to get to LAX, and I had like no time. It's like an hour journey, maybe 45 minutes, and I had much less. I think I told him when my flight was. He just seemed to be weighing up the mission.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah. And that was the scariest fucking ride I've ever had through LA. I think we got there in like 25 minutes. I'm not even sure that that's physically possible. But yeah, this guy from Basingstoke, I think we asked why he came over, and he said that he used to bike, and he just wanted to go up into the hills, into like Mulholland Drive and stuff. And he said because of all the roundabouts in Basingstoke, he was incredible at cornering. And I just remember going, nobody could touch me, man.
You met all the LA bikers. Who is this guy? He's from Basingstoke.
I gotta go to Basingstoke.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
City of roundabouts.
But the DeLorean, it's absolutely iconic. I love the fire trails it leaves when it travels through time, and that it comes back freezing cold. I love that it doesn't work very well as a car, which I was thinking last night. Like DeLoreans are famous for breaking down, and I didn't do very well. I don't know whether that was, why they're like that in the film, why it breaks down, or if it's just like a film thing and it's just. it's handy that it breaks down for story
I was
purposes.
very
but
concerned that at the start they were going to open the door and find that Einstein had been just mulched.
not that kind of movie.
Like The Fly.
Yeah, like The Fly. It's like, if this was a different kind of film, they'd open that door. But no, Einstein's fine.
Einstein's absolutely fine. Although he does run away and go and hide in the trailer.
Seen some
Quite
shit,
quickly.
man.
Yeah.
What you see when you go through time out the window of this car.
Again, I think that that scene is just so good at explaining the time travel of it.
It's really good. The 1 minute jump is
Yeah.
is brilliant because you get to feel it in real time.
Exactly.
It's fun. It is really good.
And
that.
it just explains everything. For Einstein, no time has passed. Here's his watch. It's just perfect. And it's quite a difficult concept, or could be quite a difficult concept, and they make it so easy. And there's not a lot of time to do it because we're about to time travel.
I think it was an episode of The Turtles, and I'm just thinking about this. They did it wrong, however they did it, where they send someone 1 second into the future and they never see it. Like, he's just gone. He's always 1 second ahead of them.
That would be amazing. What that's cool. That premise though.
But you would just see him a second later. He just wouldn't exist. It's the same as
It doesn't.
this, but
It doesn't work at all. But I see what they're going for.
He would just blink out of existence for you for 1 second.
yeah.
And for him.
But
them.
I think the idea is that they never see him again because he's always 1 second ahead of them in the future, which is obviously ridiculous.
It just doesn't.
It just
I
doesn't
just
work.
can't get my head around
I
it.
need to rewatch that.
It's like he'd be sent to a different dimension.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
A second ahead dimension.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't trust, because I watched that when I was about 8. You know what I mean? So if there was imagine an 8-year-old here
Right.
going, this is.
Man, I used to love the Turtles so
Same.
much when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I used to cry a lot at school in my first year, and my mum bribed me by saying, if you don't cry this week, I'll buy you a Turtles video.
Oh,
Nice.
And I did cry. I still got the video.
Yes.
That's taught you a
Good
terrible
times.
lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love the Turtles as well. They were so good. Shredder.
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what
used to say?
One of my big takeaways from Back to the Future was how layered it is, how thick it is with just things going on, and moments which are like gags, but like you said, the skateboard at the beginning, the reveal of Marty, just like letting this kind of hero step into the frame. And like, I've seen movies which, you know, don't live in the consciousness as much as this one, where you try that stuff anyway, but all the weirdness and the setup, there's just like a lot of business and references going on in that opening scene, but then all the way through, I don't know, it's like it seems just thick with, like, it's just throwing out little in-jokes and references to everything.
I think it's amazing. Yeah, and again, it's the neatness. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, it's Twin Pines Mall at the start of the movie and Lone Pine Mall at the end of the movie because he kills the pine. Like
I
missed that.
I really like the line which I'd not, where that guy is breeding trees.
Yes.
And he's really mad that Marty's killed one tree.
Yes.
Like you would be if it was an animal.
You kill my pine. Yeah, it's great. I have obviously loved Darth Vader.
Oh my God, yeah.
From the planet Vulcan.
That was great. Brilliant. I'd imagine in 1985 that must have been hilarious at cinemas.
Yeah. It's loads of stuff like that. I love, again, they managed to pick out on some real peculiarities of those particular times. For example, when he goes into the diner and he says, "Can I have a tab? Can I have a Pepsi free?" Like, that's just clever dialogue. But when, Doc obviously asks, like, "Well, if you're from the future, who's the president?" And it's like Ronald Reagan, the actor.
Well, they say that, I hadn't realised, but it's pretty obvious. But the non-porno theatre is showing a Ronald
Reagan movie. Yeah.
You could do this. You could do Back to the Future now. They could reboot it,
Oh,
and
God.
someone from 2025 goes back to 1995.
Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that person would have like an iPhone 17 or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
They'd be wearing whatever they're wearing, and Doc Brown would ask who's president.
Yeah.
And they'd say, yeah, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
America
It'd
is
sound
the problem.
just as absurd, wouldn't it, as
Yeah.
saying Ronald Reagan was
It
president.
would.
I had no idea Ronald Reagan was an actor until quite recently.
I think maybe
the
on this
revelation
podcast.
for me that I think it was before the pod. Maybe it wasn't. But yeah, I haven't known for very long that Ronald Reagan was originally the actor. I only knew him as the President Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Back to the Future sort of preempts this, because Biff's character in 2 or 3 is basically Trump. He has like a big tower and
Yes.
Oh, really?
it's
Oh,
rich
yeah,
and-
very much so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's sort of based on
100%.
Trump.
Yeah.
He's in
A bad man.
he's in Home Alone, isn't he? As
Home
well?
Alone 2.
Trump.
He is?
They filmed in Trump Tower.
Yeah. But like loads of stuff like that. I love all that stuff. A block past Maple, that's John F. Kennedy Drive.
Yeah.
Who the hell's John F. Kennedy?
Yeah.
The scene where he does the music as well.
Yeah.
Again, great. What era is that music from? Is he doing?
I think it's
60s
it's from the
music?
60s, and it's actually. So I believe that Michael J. Fox requested to do that. It wasn't originally part of the movie, and obviously, he is really playing that guitar. By the way, he's a fantastic guitarist, and so whether or not I don't know how much of the obviously you see his band at the start, which I believe he's accompanied by Huey Lewis and the News, who on stage there who actually sing the theme song to Back to the Future. So I don't know whether his character always played guitar or when it was they got Michael J. Fox, it was like a bonus. But I think he requested specifically that we get to do like a bit of a musical number. He just wanted to do a thing, and it's like an unusual part of the movie, and it is a little bit for me like a tiny bit shoehorned that Marvin Berry he has to really spell it out for the audience. Your cousin Chuck, hey Chuck, it's your cousin Marvin Berry. Here's this new sound you're looking for. I don't know if you got that bit, Rob, but the song that they're playing is by Chuck Berry. So the idea is that Marvin Berry hears this new song and like phones this up his cousin Chuck Berry and is like, listen to this. And that will obviously then in the future Chuck Berry rip it off.
I didn't know that stuff, but I did again think that is the film suggesting that the 60s rock and roll scene only existed because Marty McFly went to the 50s and played it for everyone.
I think in a sort of a smiley look to camera way it is it also suggesting that Marty McFly invents the skateboard? I don't know what those
skateboards must have been around before 1955.
I don't know.
Surely.
I don't think they were.
So he just takes a plank of wood with some wheels on it.
I think kids maybe did ride those trolleys around, but yeah, because the skateboard stuff was like California and like swimming pools in the 70s, right? That was kind of the beginning of it.
Yeah. So I think that again, it's just got loads of these little things. It's everything. Everything is so efficient. The movie, everything is either just propelling the sort of narrative or is just having a wry time with time travel and just being like, look how much fun it is that we can go back and suggest that we can show the cause, the beginning of everything that in the future. I think it's so smartly done. It's unnecessarily good, really.
It's a great film.
And I love the photograph as a sort of tracker, a tracker of how he's doing. Doesn't make any sense, really.
And the bit where his hand starts to literally fade away in front of his face. And we can see it in real time as George McFly is being weak and taken away from Lorraine. But then, no, he decides, actually, I'm going to beat up this ginger kid now.
Yeah.
Who is that kid, by the way?
I don't know.
Who the hell is that? Just comes in out of nowhere.
He's in the film earlier kicking George McFly when he's walking down the corridor and he's got the kick me sign written on his back. He's one of the kids who's kicking him. But yeah, he's otherwise just, an annoying kid.
Yeah.
And George McFly's switch to being future cool George is pretty immediate after that moment. He obviously punches Biff. He's still a bit George about everything. Then
that punch, by the way, is great.
Just it takes so long to wind up.
Fist,
Biff's reaction is to spin as well. He takes
really
that.
Sold
it's brilliant.
I was
punch.
filled with adrenaline watching this last night. I was like, it's like, yes, it's such a good good guy beats up bad guy.
Especially if you think of Biff as everything that's wrong with America now.
Right, okay, yeah, you can do that.
Gives it some real weight.
That helps you.
Please punch him.
Oh, but just the fist, it's got a character of its own. It's the choice to see him like so slowly make a fist, and it looks really sharp. I wouldn't want to get punched by it. It's a great punch.
He does some really good fighting, Crispin Glover in Charlie's Angels. Don't know if you've ever seen that.
I haven't.
Crispin Glover's like the thin man. He's like a silent baddie.
Right.
And he has a really good fight with Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu and Drew Barrymore.
Right.
Great film.
Maybe one for a later pod.
Does he use one of his special punches?
No, he's got like a cane. He's like really sharply dressed.
Yeah.
And he just has a fight with all three of them.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell is like the main bad guy in that. That film is stacked.
It is.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray's in it.
Great. He is Bosco.
No, I don't think I've seen it. Passed me by
I
somehow.
saw it at the cinema.
I enjoyed it a lot.
We should be wrapping up quite soon, but I want to sort of just talk about Lorraine very quickly because, again, we see Marty's parents at the start of the movie, and George McFly is basically the same. He is just, when we go back in time, he is just a downtrodden, he says himself, afraid of confrontation, loser, basically. And Lorraine,
he's provided a house for that family.
I really like. We don't know where the house came from. I really like that Lorraine. Where you go back in time and see Lorraine, she is so different.
Yeah.
In the current day, at the start of the movie, she's complaining about Jennifer
taking calls from boys.
And don't like that girl. Never trust a girl who calls a boy. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that scene is so great for telling us what we're going to see. Getting the family history, by the way, just before we go back and see it all play out. It's so well done. Save the clock tower. It all just feels like you don't feel like you're being told important information.
Yeah.
That's what's so good about it. It just feels like you're watching scenes. But then going back and seeing young Lorraine, and she is so different to how she's portrays her character. She's sort of seems like a prude in the future. And
who is George McFly peeping on, by the way?
Is
he peeping on Lorraine?
No, just
a
woman,
lady.
A woman, yeah. And that line makes me laugh every time. He's a peeping Tom. Just like, can you imagine how disappointed you would be in finding out your
the effort
dad?
he's making as well. He's like climbing a tree. He's got binoculars. There's nothing subtle about it.
Yeah. Well, the porno theatre won't be around for another 30 years.
This is it before the internet.
Yeah.
Give George a break.
He's a peeping Tom. It's so good.
Healthy young man.
I think it's so
that's
well
all
done.
it is.
But I really love seeing that Lorraine as being so different. She's drinking a lot at the start of the movie. Marty tries to dissuade her from drinking. He obviously thinks of her as being very prim and proper, but she's smoking. She knows about parking.
Yeah,
she's parked with a boy before.
The smoking got the biggest laugh, I think, of the whole. The crowd's reaction to him going, "You smoke?"
Yeah,
it was great.
Everyone did in 1955.
Yeah,
I think everyone smoked.
Yeah, was it cool smoking
in this film? I wouldn't put it up there in my Premier League of film smoking. No,
that's why it only got a fine rating from you. This was a fine movie. The smoking could be improved. Very few cigarettes, and when they were smoked, I wasn't moved. The last part of the movie, very annoying and very filmy, that he's like, oh my God, I've got a time machine. I've got all the time in the world. 10 minutes should be enough. And he only gives himself 10 minutes extra to go back in time and save the day, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I love seeing the scenes from the start of the movie from that other perspective.
It's so good.
It's so cool. I don't know why it's such a cool effect.
Well, I think it's because around this time was the first kind of time that you would see on like breakfast TV or whatever, just like behind the scenes stuff, and you're like, oh shit, I know that scene, but I'm seeing it from over here and it's not been graded and it doesn't look quite right.
It had an amazing quality to it that, again, made me think that surely they must have filmed it from far away whilst they were actually filming it for real. But I thought, of course they can't have done that, because there's just a complete absence of any kind of crew in and around it. I don't know how they've done it. Like,
they just did it lots of times, I think.
They just did it so well.
And bear in mind that they'd already done all of that once with Eric Stoltz. They must have been like,
they
guess
got
what,
it down.
guys?
Maybe that's Eric Stoltz, to the mall. Man. Maybe that's what
maybe
it
is Eric Stoltz. Maybe that's how they did it. Yeah, exactly. But
poor old Eric Stoltz.
I love that. I love it. The end, and you see what happened to the Libyans. You see the loop beginning with Marty going back in time, and obviously,
well, this is kind of my problem with I can't remember them very well at all. But this, in my mind, the 2 and 3 take these ideas of seeing a moment from a different perspective and like layering on, and there's so much freshness and originality in this film. And all I remember are the same kind of gimmicks, like, oh, something's changed. The photo is there. We're in the square again, seeing something from a different perspective. I don't know.
I think, I mean, it's... so it was worth saying that they weren't written as a trilogy. This film was just written by itself. And so one of the big regrets I know the filmmakers had, they said, is when it was a huge success and they were like, we should make another 2 movies, was putting Jennifer in the car at the end. They were like, Jennifer, she was a big problem in terms of writing the next 2 movies. What do we do with her? Where does she go? They couldn't.
She should have just fallen out into the time space.
Yeah,
continuum.
They could drop her off. Actually, no, you're not coming with us. And I guess it's so hard, having seen the other movies, not to think of it as part of a trilogy. I love the ending if it's just a one-off movie. And I wish they could have just done that. Just the ambiguity of like, you got to come to the future, blah, 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 off we go. I really want to believe that they weren't thinking at all. And like having heard that regret, that they weren't thinking at all about like, we'll make another movie.
I just want to tell Rob, because it's really stuck in my head from when I was a kid, that Biff travels back in time and he somehow brings with him a sports
Well, they go to the future.
almanac.
And the whole... I think it's quite weird.
He doesn't. He discovers the almanac.
His kids are that Marty and Jennifer's kids are bad kids. That's basically it. It's like a bit weak, and they leave the DeLorean somewhere. And old Biff, who's like in his 80s, finds it, knows it's a time machine because he's seen it now he saw them fly off, and he goes back to the 50s, and he takes a sports almanac from the future, which has got every result of every big game for like 50 years or something, and he gives it to Biff in the 50s so that he can place bets and become super rich.
That Biff is killing himself.
And he changes the future.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That Biff will not exist.
And so Marty goes back from this is where the time travel stuff doesn't really work, but then they go back to 1985, but it's a 1985 after Biff has become basically like a Trump character, it's lawless, and there's a huge giant like Biff Towers, I think.
It's not like America now.
And
so
Marty's mum is like enslaved to Biff, pretty much. I mean, not literally, but like.
Dark.
And George McFly's been killed. And God,
yeah. Crispin Glover didn't come back, did he? For these movies?
Then Marty has to go back to 1955 to stop that from happening.
I see.
Basically. And then the third movie is, I think, in 1885, where Doc Brown, in the end of the events of the second movie, in trying to stop all this from happening, I think the DeLorean gets struck by lightning, and it just whizzes back to 1885, and Marty has to go back in time to rescue Doc from 1885.
I see.
I might watch them now.
I mean, they're not bad movies, but this movie is so far and away the best. Like it's brilliant.
My final thought on it is just, we kind of mentioned it earlier on, but just I really like that there are this generation of filmmakers who are hung up on the same things that they remember from this sort of bright period of American history in the 50s, and it's the cars and the music and the conventions of courtship and everything that was going on, and the optimism, and then they are filtered through these filmmakers in different ways. And so you kind of like, Lynch is 100% hung up on this stuff,
right? And
it just comes out in all these different ways, and the concentrated, self-referential, funny way that it comes through in Back to the Future is also amazing. And it's like in Spielberg everywhere. It's like,
I think in the Goonies and Back to the Future, we've watched 2 hugely important movies for the rest of moviedom, and for pop culture, and certainly
Goonies
for me.
Holy shit! I've been listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah. This is another movie with a great soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah,
I like both the kind of orchestral score is amazing. Da, da, da. I think about it all the time, and then just the Huey Lewis and the News, The Power of Love, and also the other song that they wrote. They originally wrote the song, it's on the radio, and then it's in the end credits, and it's called like Back in Time or something. Yeah. And I think
one of them has to be on the nose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go like, and save your parents in time.
Yeah. They were like, I think that might be a bit too. Can you just do like a song you'd normally do, maybe about love or something? And that can be the big one. But
we should go. We're out of time.
We are out of
That's
time.
That's a time reference.
I liked it. It's very clever. Yes, we are out of time on this particular episode. We've been watching Back to the Future future. I hope you watched it too. And I'd love to hear if anyone watched it for the first time. Let us know. What did you think? Because I do have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. We're in the middle of 1985 season right now. The next movie that we're going to be watching is The Black Cauldron. Rob's pick
Yes.
from 1985, and then we'll be getting to Brazil, Nath's pick from 1985.
Dark.
There will also be a bonus episode at some point, and we will be putting up a poll for you, the listeners, to choose one more movie from 1985 for us to watch. So keep an eye out for that. It will be happening very soon. We will see you next time. You've been listening to Redshirt Cinema Club. If you enjoyed the episode, consider supporting us on Patreon, where you can unlock 2 bonus episodes every month. And we'd love to hear from you. Email us at redshirtcinemaclub@gmail.com. See you next week.